Yeah.
It's on.
I see some old pictures of our police chief back in his.
All right, 5:30 having arrived, call the meeting to order. We'll stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mark, you have some recommendations for us?
Bring my Dutch ones.
All right, paving, R&D paving, they were clearly the low bid. Like to go with R&D, if it's okay with the board.
Any experience using them before?
They did our paving for us last year.
Okay.
Yep. So very happy with their,
What was their per ton price?
5905.
Yep.
$59.05. What would the board like to do?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
okay. Winter sand, go with Merrill again. They brought us a real nice product last year and everything else, and they were low bid, so if we could go with Merrill, that'd be great.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
All right, reconstruction materials. I'd like to split it between Deerfield Sand and Gravel and Ploods. Like we did that last year also.
Works out well.
Stone has a better Plood has a better stone price, and you know, the gravel, Steve's gravel prices are good. Plus, we can haul from Deerfield.
Yeah,
a lot
picking it up
cheaper,
in
so,
Deerfield.
Yep, exactly. So if we could split it between the two, that'd be great.
Are you splitting it stone and gravel?
What's that?
Are you splitting it stone and gravel? Is that basically the split?
Yep, yep.
I make a motion that we accept the road agent's recommendation.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And mowing, we only had one bid, and that was Sanborn, and I'd like to give it to Sanborn Industries.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Excellent.
That's all I got.
Anything, everything going well?
Going well. We started crushing today in the pit, so we'll be there for a while. So everything's looking good.
Yes, got a question for Mark.
Yep.
Went up to Tandy Road to take a look at the project that was going to be coming to the planning board, but they didn't show up, or I guess they canceled. But there's a stone culvert that runs across
Yep.
Tandy Road, and the cover pieces on top of the culvert, at least one of them, which was used basically so the traffic could go
Right.
across it,
Yep.
has been slid off or moved off. Couldn't really see where the heck it went to, but and then Kate Hartnett said that she thought that it might have been the logger that had done that. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, I do. Actually, it was when Kevin Cole was clearing his lot next door, he took his excavator out that way, and when he walked his excavator across the bridge, he broke the top of it.
Ah,
And I talked to him about fixing it and repairing it, and he said, yeah, when we come back to do test pits, you know, we'll fix it and this and that, and it's been a few years now, and we're still waiting for it to be fixed.
Wasn't he told not to,
He was told to go
the other way?
out Mountain Road, but he said, seeing as though the roads were posted, he thought it'd be better going out Reservation. And I said, well, Reservation Road's posted too, so.
We've known about this for a while, and it was
Yep.
supposed to be fixed, and
Yep,
it just fell
exactly.
on deaf ears.
It just keeps getting pushed off and pushed off,
course.
and so they have not been back up there to work, but they have done test pits, I guess, and so I don't know. I'm hoping that he'll come through for us, but it needs to be fixed.
yeah. Maybe a letter from the town administrator to Mr. Cole to tell him to fix it?
Per order of the Board of Selectmen.
If he has any questions, he can call me, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
You want to give him a date to have it done by?
Yes. Makes a pretty good mountain bike jump.
Yeah. Just a little prod should be all he needs. All right, thank you, Mark.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I have review of outstanding minutes for the 17th of April.
I would move as written.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Fred?
I got a couple of changes. On the first paragraph, page 2, third line, let's see. Second line, resultant report was done for the DES, rather than by the DES. It was they had a separate consultant who actually prepared the report. Next line down, near the end of the line, Mr. Duffy described, we have 2 VATs, so strike one of the VATs. The third line, near the end of the line, page 2.
Are you in the first paragraph?
First paragraph, page 2, third line down from the top.
Second that back
We've
from the bill.
got 2 VATs at the end of the line.
It's funny, I'm not seeing that.
I'm not seeing it either.
Mr. Duffy described that.
Oh,
Pleasant Lake
that.
watershed.
I thought you were
Oh,
saying
that.
that. And I'm like, I can't even find the first one.
Okay, got it.
All right, the next line, Pleasant Lake has a surface area of 500 acres, and the watershed covers 3.6 square miles. So it was kind of a mixing of the 500 acres and over 3.6 square miles. So it's the lake has a 500 acre surface area, and the
Watershed area.
watershed is 3.6 square miles. And then the next line, the turnover rate of water, just for clarification, in the lake can be problematic. Okay. And then, let's see. On page 5, Town Administrator's Report, third paragraph, second line, described that currently the town is paying $4.99 per month to rent I believe it should be mixed stream recycling, and then 2 more paragraphs down, talking about the LED message boards, second line, they will be mounted at the GB White building and DCS rather than DES. And that's it for me.
Anyone else? Thank you, Fred. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Good on that. I have an accounts payable manifest in the amount of $66,235.50.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I have a request from Paul Beauchamp of Deerfield for an Old Center Cemetery deed in the amount of $800.
Would make a motion that we grant him the deed.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
An application for property tax credit for Benton White, a regular veteran's credit of $500 for 46 Perry Road.
Motion to issue the credit.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I have a timber tax levy in the amount of $19.55 to Charles and Sherry Sanborn.
Make a motion that we collect the money for the timber tax levy?
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Request to collect the land use change tax in the amount of $7,650 from Jacob and Cato Doherty of Griffin Road.
I would make a motion that we collect the LUTC.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
I missed one.
Two places. I have a bunch of appointments. I can read them off and then we can
One motion.
do one motion. Judith Marshall as Deputy Town Treasurer. Mitchell Newell as a full-time police officer. George H. Thompson Jr., Board of Adjustment member. And Ernie Robert as a member of the Parks and Recreation Commission.
I would make a motion that we appoint those read by the chairman.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's been requested by the assessor that we grant an abatement to Nextel Communications / Sprint. Equipment, reason being the equipment was removed from cell tower several years ago and we were not notified. Abatements are to address and clean up tax records from map 406 lot 3600 NEXT located at Saddleback Mountain Road, Deerfield for the following years. 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, and 2016 for a total of $43,250.61.
Make a motion that we grant the requested abatement.
Second.
How could that have gone that long and not?
They didn't
been
tell us,
notified?
they didn't tell us, I'm
No,
assuming.
but they didn't pay, or did
What's that?
they pay all
They
those?
paid it,
They want it back.
but they
You said a lien.
removed, well, they didn't pay it, I'm sorry, yes, tax lien. And the property tax of 2016, but it says, I guess the equipment was removed several years ago and nobody noticed.
Correct, I just was curious about the lien part of it, how it just surfaced. 6 years,
You want to get more information?
no?
We can get more information.
Why that hadn't come to us before for unpaid.
Yeah,
What do you wanna do?
let's get an explanation. It's not gonna hurt. They waited 6 years, they can wait.
Withdraw the motion?
Yes, I would withdraw the motion.
In a second. Okay. All right, I have a timber tax levy in the amount of $2,740.20 for J. McGrath and Donna Lopsian of Ridge Road.
I would make a motion that we levy said timber tax.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Two places, sir. Okay, so we banned outside watering last year. The drought is still ongoing, but has relieved itself. This is from Denny Gregg. On September 19, 2016, the Board of Selectmen asked all Deerfield residents to conserve water of extreme drought conditions. Because conditions did not improve, the Board of Selectmen issued a residential lawn watering ban effective October 3rd, 2016. The BOS also provided information from the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services regarding the drought to Deerfield residents. Since then, the groundwater level has slowly improved. As shown above, Deerfield has improved to abnormally dry conditions with this week's rain. Based on the improved condition, it is recommended that the residential lawn watering ban be lifted effective May 6, 2017. However, it is also recommended that all residents continue to conserve water. We have contacted New Hampshire DES, who agree that lifting the ban is appropriate if we proceed with caution and monitor the situation. Outreach regarding water conservation will continue on the town's website and message boards. So, based on her recommendation, is there anything the board wants to do? Yeah, because we stopped it last
would
year.
have to lift
We'd
it.
have to lift it.
See, I watered my lawn this weekend.
I just want to have the nature.
Somebody write him up.
Me too.
Motion to remove the ban from September of 16?
Well, to lift it,
Lift
the residential warning ban effective May 6th.
Yes.
Second,
Discussion?
it was just new seeds, it wasn't the whole line.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, we took care of that. All right, I have a letter from James R. St. Jean, after we've approved him as being the auctioneer. He's sent a letter on to the town administrator, and I guess we're looking about conducting the sale on June 17th, beginning at 10 a.m. He's going to publicize it, and no fees or expenses are charged to the town. So, has everybody looked at this?
So it's just the one
The one,
Property.
Three.
three,
Okay,
The three that were in the
do-
warrants.
yeah.
Do we want to tell who it is, tell them what it is, so it's on the record?
Well, it was the 3 warrant articles that were approved in March. I think they're as public as they can be. What I'd like is the board's permission to sign this contract with him.
I make a motion that we authorize the chair to sign on behalf of the board.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
You say it was the 17th?
June 17th,
June 17th.
Saturday.
Saturday, June 17th, at 10 a.m.
At each place.
The 3 properties are attached to the back of it.
Yes.
But he's not holding it here,
No, they'll go from site to site.
just in case we're asked.
278 South Road.
The one at the corner of Birch?
No, it's
No.
further down towards the intersection, middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
and south.
Yeah. And then the property off Raymond Road. Another property off Raymond Road. All I have listed.
So the most talked about one so far still isn't available to do, Birch.
No,
No.
we haven't gotten there yet.
It's coming.
Those raccoons are gonna be upset when they have to move.
All right, is everybody taking a look at the draft letter for unpaid taxes? Is there anybody who has a problem with John having the town clerk, tax collector send those out? If we get one person to come back and work with us, it's kind of worth it. All right.
Okay.
Has everyone read all the new and updated personnel policies? Are we ready to approve or disapprove of them?
I would make a motion that we approve the revised personnel policies as presented by the town administrator.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All right, so that's a sexual harassment supplemental, new social media, new confidentiality, new domestic violence in the workplace, holidays are updated, and personal leaves updated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's not happening. All right, I'd like the board's approval for me to sign an approval of a contract of agreement for the rescue squad to be the EMT service at the New Hampshire Arabian Summer Jubilee Horse Show, June 10th and 11th at the fairgrounds with a fee of $150 per day.
So moved.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And also for them to be the EMT at the Northern Frisian Classic Horse Show, June 23rd to 25th at the Deerfield Fairgrounds at $150 a day.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Should we get more money because those horses are bigger?
We won't need it.
Frasia's twice the
Oh, yeah.
Be half as many there, though.
Those crazy outfits though.
All right, notice of intent to cut wood or timber, Stephen E. Sanborn, Middle Road.
Certainly a lot of logging equipment on Middle Road right now.
Yeah. Quite a bit. Notice of intent to cut wood or timber, Sherry Sanborn, 135 Middle Road.
That's easily chicken.
Notice of intent to cut wood or timber,
He doesn't do any of those.
Sherry Sanborn, Charles Sanborn, 135 Middle Road. This is on Birch and Middle.
The date.
Notice of intent to cut wood or timber,
So the ink matches.
You get a pen like yours.
on Mount Delight for Mike Gallo.
Steve?
Yes, sir.
Mentioned, I actually spoke to John about this the other day, but I don't know, from time to time, we've taken a look at what we're using for values by species on timber tax, and I don't know that we've reviewed that for a while. Typically, we hit middle level, but we might want to take a look at that and make sure we're in an appropriate place and take a look at what market prices are, that sort of thing.
That makes a lot of sense. Thanks for reminding us. Wow. This goes with all that stuff.
Okay.
Gonna cover, I think that'd be best.
I'll take the page and make it.
I have a request from Scott Shepherd regarding use of the Deerfield Town Hall. I want to express my thanks to the Board of Selectmen for the use of Town Hall on Sunday afternoons for religious Bible talks. The sessions are open to anyone in the town of Deerfield to attend. I know there is a $50 fee for each Sunday that the building is used, and I was wondering if there would be any chance of the fee being waived or reduced, since this is a religious nonprofit function for 4 Sundays. Yes, sir?
We have typically waived it for nonprofits who do a fine job cleaning up. I don't know that we've ever waived it based on religious
Yeah.
stature, but as we have for nonprofits,
I can't remember doing that.
it'd be almost like discrimination if we charged it to them, because we waive it for virtually everybody.
Just have them make sure they clean it up.
Waive the $50 fee and continue charging the cleaning deposit?
Did they ask for the cleaning deposit to be?
They only ask for the fee being waived or reduced.
Yep, let's give them what they asked for then, just the fee be waived.
Will you put that in the motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Correct.
All right. Note for the record that a payroll manifest in the amount of $52,114.80 on the 21st of April was approved by 3 members of the Board of Selectmen. Those same 3 members of the Board of Selectmen approved another payroll manifest in the amount of $1,757.82. And the same 3 members of the Board of Selectmen on the 21st of April approved an accounts payable manifest in the amount of $534,773.76, of which $500 was for the food. Joe Mancy was before us at our last meeting requesting irrigation at both Bicentennial and Hartford Brook. This is from Joe. In response to Selectman McGarry's question regarding well capacity, and speaking with Rick Pelletier and Paul Smith, who installed the well. It is estimated that the capacity is 100 gallons a minute and that it could easily accommodate irrigation needs. We currently run water in the building when necessary as well as outdoor hose with no issues. In response to Selectman Barry's request regarding contacting other companies for estimates, I've asked Averill Landscaping and Rainmaker Irrigation out of Hooksett for prices, and he'll get back to us.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
You probably provide water to all of Middle Road.
Yeah, that's quite good at 100 gallons a minute.
Yeah. Oh, the bicentennial, oh, okay. Oh, here.
Which is used every
Right, did you
weekend
be-
seasonally, so it's probably well charged.
We received $1,345.90 from the state regarding forest land. Got a highway bulk grant in the amount of $28,923.23. And aren't we glad we had our election in the middle of the snow?
Yes.
Very well. All right. Town Administrator's report.
Couple of items. I met last week with John Faris, the market manager for Wheelabrator Technologies, and spoke to him about their community partnership program. Program is the company's effort to work with communities to support local initiatives. Each year, they're looking to grant up to $2,000 per year per community for any program, project, or initiative in the community that the municipality would like to use. There are no restrictions to it currently, so what I'd be looking for the board to do is provide some suggestions and/or a use for these dollars. And whenever that decision's made, this gentleman will come in and present the award to the board.
The flagpole out front. It's cracked.
There's been an update to that.
Yeah.
We've had a welder come in and do an assessment, and it's been welded, complete, and repaired and repainted. So I think we're good with
Good with
that
that?
for now,
Okay.
so that
Take that
project
off your
is
list.
off the table.
Tried.
Something done.
So, anybody have any ideas, or do we want to mull this over and come back?
I think we should mull it over for a little bit.
Okay.
Just wanted to make you all aware that that was available to us. After a discussion with Chief Duquette concerning the intersection of 107 and Church Street, that little triangular median strip that consistently has a number of signage from time to time throughout the year, especially around political season, he's indicated to me that he has had some concerns for quite some time about the hazards to motorists being able to see coming up over the corner. And I've asked him, beginning immediately, to start enacting, pulling the signs down, and we can let the owners know that they can collect them here at town offices. But I've asked the police department to pull them down when they see them. And I'm going to be talking to the management team tomorrow, so that they can let all of their local community contacts know as well.
Maybe get
We're,
something on the website.
We've been talking about that intersection for quite some time. It took us 3 years to get the telephone pole removed. And again, we need to redesign it, and we've been waiting for the telephone pole to be removed. I think perhaps getting the road agent and maybe the police chief together and maybe the fire chief together and say, because we've talked about this a number of times, but, yes, sir.
Yeah, and I think in our talking about it, it's, my recollection is we've talked about two places down below the fairgrounds by the Lamprey River and that location, and in both instances, the state has come back at us with fairly steep financial contributory requirements on us, so.
Of keeping signage off of those?
No,
No,
of
rebuilding.
redesigning.
Oh, rebuilding, yes.
Yeah.
Redesigning
Redesign, yeah.
the intersection.
Yeah, they want us to help pay for,
Oh, yeah.
which I can understand on the Church Street one because it involves two town streets connecting. On the other one, I was a little taken
Yeah.
aback that they expected us to contribute to fix 2 state roads. But
2 state roads.
As long as they don't put a light there, it's all good.
Yes, sir.
Right. Two things. One, I'm sure the members of the garden club will be quite happy to have those signs eliminated from that little
Mm-hmm.
triangle area. The other thing is that Keach Nordstrom had put together a preliminary design for a temporary layout for that intersection, and be a matter of trying to find out where the heck where that is.
might be in the closet in John's office.
Yeah.
That's where a fair amount of that stuff is.
But they had made some recommendations that we could set it up with those barrels, the highway barrels, and see how that worked out. And if it worked out well, then we could end up switching to the next step, which would be looking at the possibility of actually constructing something.
That'd be
But,
great.
I think we did that
Look at that.
after we had a motorcycle fatality there, and I think
Mhm.
that was the spur of,
Oh, to do the design?
yeah.
Okay.
All right, we'll look for that and come back to it. Thanks, Fred. Yes, sir.
Given that we are back into the summer season and you had the letter from Denny Gregg about lifting the watering ban, I've asked the internet director to put a town drought monitor right on the town webpage, which will change throughout the year so that anybody in the community can look at the webpage and know exactly where we are. And there'll be links to documents about lawn watering and how they can conserve in the community on their own. That'll be right on the front page and visible. I also received a letter from Attorney Whitley concerning the board's decision last meeting about additional funding being found, and if there was none that came forward, the board would consider whether or not to cease involvement with their agreement in representation for the town. I'll bullet out what his proposal sent to me was, that a potential source of funding has been brought forward, and there will be a proposed payment mechanism that does not involve the town. The donors would like to remain anonymous, and no funding would flow through the town. Instead, the donors would enter into an escrow agreement with the firm, which would state that the donors are paying for legal representation to the town, and which representation will continue to be directed by the town. The donors would cut a check to the firm for his purposes. The funds would be placed into an IOLTA trust account, which basically is that his firm does not get the interest for those funds. The donors have stated that they will place $10,000 in this trust. More funding may be possible if needed, but it would be evaluated in the future. And once each month, the bill for his services would be generated. His firm would deduct the amount from the trust and then send the bill for the town to the town, indicating that it had been paid in full.
Wonderful.
Have we,
I don't, I know I had looked at the letter and talked to John a little bit about that, and just on accounting mechanism alone, I don't believe we can do that, and I think, I don't know what John's thoughts are, but I think it goes beyond accounting mechanism to our ability to do that. We can't accept paid receipts from a vendor for money that's coming from a anonymous trust, so to speak.
My concern, and I shared this with Andy, was that come auditing time, it would be difficult to sustain that kind of paperwork, that they would bring real questions up during the audit.
I think that we should tell John to go ahead and process the final termination letters, since no money is present here, and that would allow these people who are willing to donate anonymously to contract with Attorney Whitley after that.
Yeah, and I would just bring up, I have no problem with accepting donations as we did the first go-round, but it has to go into some sort of public trust fund or something along those lines. We can't have a private ghost trust fund paying town fees, and and, you know, potentially directing,
And to continue the current
Services.
contract we have with them, our contract says that the town of Deerfield will pay these bills, his bills. So I think we just have to go forward with the termination with the agreement with him and Sanssouci, and let these people negotiate with them.
if there's an ability to make a new, you know, a new contract with them or a new negotiation, but it just has to be more public. I don't see how the board could have
I don't either.
legally, accounting-wise, or even, I think disgruntled citizens would become considerably more disgruntled given that mechanism.
Wouldn't it have to be that group? You couldn't have it be the town anyway if it's not getting paid
Well,
by
if
the
people,
town.
how we initially set it up, donated money went into a public account that
Yeah, it's
anyone could go
listed.
look at what was in it, see who was
From that
behind it,
account,
and
we
where
paid
that
the
money was
bills.
going. But this is a
So this
different
donor
animal,
wants to stay anonymous?
Yes.
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
and an
and-
ongoing,
Wants to continue the contract, but his bills would be paid and we'll just get the paid bills. Go ahead.
my thought would be an anonymous donor could make a donation that could go into a public fund for the
That's
payment
right.
of legal bills, but it can't be done outside of,
And that's basically what we did with all the money that we received last year. It was
Right.
anonymous, it just passed through.
it would have to be like that, not as Mr. Whitley's letter lays out.
So everybody's okay with terminating both the agreements?
Well, we don't have any choice, but
Right.
hopefully these people can pick up the
Mm-hmm.
slack and run with it.
Right.
We don't have any choice as far as a town.
I'm also in receipt of a confirmation letter from George Sanssouci in response to my letter indicating that if no funding came forward, that we'd be terminating his agreement as well. He understands that, so at this point.
Subject to archiving file fees and,
That is in the original agreement, that the town has the right to terminate the contract immediately upon written notice. Upon notice of termination, Sanssouci will be paid for work to date, plus the necessary time and expenses to properly close and archive the files and other necessary closeout functions of the work. That was in the original agreement.
very well. Anything else, sir?
That is it for me.
Anything for the town administrator? Yes, sir.
Yeah, just coming up on boating season, if the town administrator could make inquiries to the VZ Park Commission as to the status of the paddle boat launch, and how close we might be to approval. I was down at the boat ramp at 5:45 a weekend or two ago, and all the parking spaces were taken, and people were asking me where they could put their boats. And I was thinking of that.
Okay.
So what is the status of the
Yeah.
Yeah,
boat
how-
launch?
How soon and what needs to be done to get.
Didn't they
actual-
open it last year?
I don't believe we did.
No?
I thought they did.
We
I
did,
thought they did, but,
yeah.
It was fairly late in the season if we did.
yeah, okay.
I think so. I think it was all set.
But we'll find out.
Okay, good.
Anyone else? All right. Unfinished other or new business? Fred?
Unfinished business, as the board may recall, probably a couple months ago, I guess, Chief Tibbetts had responded to comments that the board had generated, basically the ones that I had put together with regard to policies, and I had drafted a response to Chief Tibbetts's comments, and went out to the other board members and looking for any comments before the town administrator picked them up and turned them over to Chief Tibbetts. And I haven't gotten any comments from the other board members, and I was wondering if it,
Pass them on.
pass them on. Okay, well, I will do that.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Any kind of business? Old, new, whatever? All right, if not, we're gonna go into a non-public session under 2C,
Correct.
and we will come out and have citizens' comments.
Make a motion, we go into non-public RSA 91A3, Roman 2, letter C. Matters which if discussed in public would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of the public body itself unless such person requests an open meeting.
I guess second.
Aye.
Yes?
Yes.
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 How you doing, Richard? Great. Good. Huh?
I thought you were.
No, not yet. Not that close, though.
Sure. You didn't have to have them that long. I got Tia from
So
the,
how's things?
she'd been dropped out, 6 years old.
You keeping you awake?
And I took her to vets, care of her and everything, and then one day I was leaving to go to the legislature and she got loose. And I said, Chet, would you please bring Tia back? And she sent it to George. When I got back, couldn't find Tia. 4 months later, the girl that lived up the road brought her raspberry collar back to me. And I don't know if somebody took her or an animal got her. He doesn't know it. And you miss them.
Yeah, I understand. He rescued a larger percentage.
21 years. But even they say with Tia, you're attached to them.
Original plan.
She started out afraid because she'd been caged. And I will never forget the morning she crawled up on the couch beside me. The next morning she got a little closer. The next morning. And then all of a sudden she swatted my newspaper, pay attention. Finally got her to accept me. They are. My father worked on a farm for us, and every once in a while there'd be a farm cat that was especially cute, and bring it home to me. My mother would say, Charles, don't bring her any more animals.
That's why I started like that.
I did, I loved it. I told the doctor today, I said, how do I do it? I can't lose weight because I can't walk, I can't exercise, I mean, I really can't do anything. Well, there's a broken fracture in the tibia, and May 16th, they're gonna decide whether to put a new knee in. So, however long that'll take to get done. But, I said, my little brown dog, thinks, he comes to me and he looks at me and take me out. And instead I hook him, you know, and he looks at me like, when are you going to take me for a walk again? He's the cutest thing. He goes, when I'm walking, he'd go up on the banking to look at the Benagis horses. And the horse would come over right to the edge of the fence. And he'd stand there, and it was like the two of them were talking to each other. It was so cute. Me, I'm a big animal lover. I could kill an ant, I'll tell you. I'm so sick of them. I'm hoping that Coco doesn't get any ticks this year.
I had heard he was going to, but then on the, where we voted, it said, behind them.
I take Coco down to Aaron and he takes them off. I can't.
I can't believe
It's
it's
too
I
much.
can't even vote for it.
We're getting little snowbirds. We get them.
I have so hard a time handling him. I love it dearly, and he sleeps at my feet, knows he's spoiled. doing things with him, he knows I'm too lenient. He just takes off, so I can't let it go.
But he goes to Aaron usually.
Yeah, she had the prettiest tiger cat. She put the thing on it, died, poor Fox.
Look at me, I'm here.
Our 13-year-old is
Being the only cat, she's never been the only cat, so. Yeah. She's just not a color, you know, the other, you take up and just carry around the house. Not her. She has her own weird things that she likes. You can't put anything like that there to this tool. I mean,
There are those that are independent though. My first Siamese was very independent. She wouldn't cuddle or love or anything, except the boys. The boys, Bryce was 4 and Aaron was 6. She slept on their bed and she followed them all around the yard and everything. Didn't care about me. I just fed her, brushed her, you know. And then Bryce brought home a white cat. And he was so independent. I called him Silver because he sounded like the Lone Ranger's horse. He did. He went around that house and we heard the boom. You thought sure a horse was coming through. It's funny, I was talking to Dr. Dowd today, and I'm having trouble with food, and I said, I can't eat beef, it's such hard ferment. Can't eat chicken, I get tired of it. I said, besides, chicken don't taste like chicken from the farm. And he says, you're right. And I said, did you grow up on a farm? He says, yeah, we had 300 pigs, 40 chickens, 2 cows, horses. I said, what? He said, northern New York. I said, yeah, that's all farm country. Strange. But I made such pets on the animals. My parents wouldn't let me near the pigs because the first ones, they were gonna kill them, and I cried and made myself sick, so my mother said, you can't kill those pigs, Harry, they'll die. My stepfather came in and he says, that was a real profitable deal, $140 for grain, I got $135. So they wouldn't let me hear them after that.
No meaning of pigs.
Or raising them.
Oh, all right, that was.
One on that end. Thank you.
We didn't do the research, so let's get some
Did you
research.
try your lasagna or the?
That's them, it's eating.
The other one was better.
Yeah, it was cheesier, I think.
So
I tried.
Good night.
I'll be back. Come as much as they used to.
Less cheese.
Yeah, but again, I didn't
So I think
remember using one,
it
so
was
I don't know
told
what happened, but I wouldn't.
I mean, I
It
ate
was
it.
okay.
Wasn't that bad. It was sausage this time.
Well, I had hamburger, but I put this slice
Yeah.
of sausage,
But I
yeah.
should get
saying
sausage.
that I'm
And that's the other thing, when I eat that, I get
It's
the
only
charm.
sausage,
that I
yeah.
won't,
Oh,
you know, let this volunteerism go and give it, no, we don't need it.
so that's what I'm gonna have with this
I'm a
tonight.
taxpayer.
That she's
I have to
doing
pay
it.
my taxes.
No, I told her that I can't eat a hamburger at night, or I'll pay all night long.
But it seems you've had them for lunch and they don't seem to bother you at lunch.
I can have it for lunch, but or like coffee. I ate some last night. I made it one Sunday afternoon. Oh my God. I paid all night long.
Well, maybe this new medicine will.
call me nobody. He was so easy to hit right up against the wall.
Did he screw
That's where you're gonna pay the most.
garage about some fuel tank? Some, I
See what?
screwed has done it to the garage about some fuel tank, or tried to. Chainsaws last year. He had stored some fuel over there and then tried to get in trouble for it. Say it was hazardous material. What they doing with chainsaws? Somebody asked me about that, I said, I haven't heard anything about that.
Why should he run it there when you can get him a lot less other places?
Complained. For someone else.
That's what it was, somebody just got it twisted.
He got
Did you see on the, I posted the picture, it wasn't real clear, but goldfinch and a bluebird on the St. Peter this morning. Oh, it was so pretty.
When you need to bag those things over to Maddie and my sister called. You know, right before all the shit at the Van Dyke. For some reason, she was going like. Going over the birthday of my nieces and nephews. And I couldn't remember.
Oh,
Yeah. Some of them. I know. Hercules. Tyler's March 4th. Darren's December 9th. It's just funny that nobody else can see all this stuff.
I tried to explain to someone, I said, I got
Don't
friends.
remember.
No, but still tell me things.
You might not like that.
So, I make my own decisions. One of the big reasons, he don't like it. It's his opinion.
And Michael told me that they had a $4,000. And he said, Mom, something's wrong with something. You know, that's wrong. She showed some pictures of the place where they go bike riding in the park. So, yeah, buddies. I don't understand how he just keeps. I tell you, somebody threw a bottle. He just keeps his head up and flying on the other side. it's been me a long time for it to turn
Either that or it's
reddish,
gray.
you know, and the other, it's reddish, and other parts are dark brown, you know, you've seen Peyton. Peyton is my son's dog, my grandson, and he comes to my house 2-3 times a day for treats. He figures Mary's house is where I get treats. I told Aaron, I said, I don't think you ever give him water. He goes up to the house, he drinks the whole dish of Coca-Cola. He left his here at about 4. And all of a sudden, I hear Coco, and my dog, when his dish is empty of water, passes around on the floor. So I'll hear it, and I go over and I say, he wants some water? Tell me you want water. Looking at me, and I get the water, and he's all happy. I can talk about spoiling dogs.
Yeah.
But they get the jerky treats and the milk foam and the marrow bone. I switch them off.
Making some cookies. Make them healthy.
Well, yesterday I couldn't eat my roll. And I gave him the roll with the fat. Of course, the next time I've got one sitting on my plate, it'll probably be.
Jump right up and get it, 'cause
Coco never gets on the shelf, never got the table, never. Payne gets up on the shelf. He's awful. I said, yeah, don't you train him? No wonder he weighs 20 pounds more than Coco.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be 70 degrees, what do they say? I think so. Get rid of this.
You went to Florida?
I was in Florida, yeah.
My brother's in Sarasota.
It's pretty warm.
Well, he went from Vermont down there when he was in his 20s to teach, and then he became a principal.
Rocket science.
He's been down there ever since. He just comes up summers.
Yeah, well.
A lot of it is open to interpretation, which is one of the big
Oh,
problems with the
I'll
policy.
never forget, the first time I ever went there was April vacation with the kids.
There's a lot of
Hot, you get out of the shower, 10 minutes later, you
I don't have to worry about that.
Asian kid, fired, back to the fire.
My daughter's been down there
Pick their
for
own sheet.
25, 26 years, but she comes up here. You know, and she just wears layers. Because she knows, and she leaves all of
I
them.
don't know
That's nice, you can do that.
what you think about Matt Fisher.
I was thinking the other day,
He's on that or box, I
Sandra,
guess.
who's been away from home
I like Matt.
23 years. She'll deposit the clothes in her bedroom.
Oh, okay.
When she went away to college, she took what she wanted, and then she bought. So she never came back and took what she wanted. I'm gonna call some movie theater or playhouse and say, do you need any costumes?
Saying,
There you go.
Clothes.
I'm sure a lot of them could do, you know, from 25 years
Do
ago.
they still have the playhouse in that big?
yep.
I thought so.
I
I've never
was
seen
thinking
it.
they moved.
I went there a couple of times, they have nice little plays.
I think they went somewhere else. They still exist. I can't think where.
They have it down in Dover, called Ron's for the Garrison players.
There's a few good plays up there, you know, gun plays. Don't ask me to name them now because I can't, but I know looking, I saw it.
Sam usually brings them up.
Yeah. But you had me take a look, but they didn't start yet.
Yes. Magic show.
Oh, seems like it would avoid a lot of that. Really, you know?
I come throw stuff on that hill in the winter and I'll slush it.
Yeah. And I can't think what else they would do. Do you remember once they ended the street there? Candy Road. No. A lot of crazy roads.
The driver, not the
Yeah. There's been a lot of accidents. I haven't done it yet. Things I don't forget. Here.
They never say anything
Yeah,
like that to
I
somebody
told
that they
you.
need to say it to.
Yeah.
But I didn't get shocked.
Look, I wish she was, she's one of those people.
I've talked to them.
This is just done, it's done, it's been about almost a month. It's done. It's done.
We had it out right there.
You probably have to go
But that
before
was
I.
only a personal level. I mean, I put a 7-page letter
Filter is good.
with personal issues that I'm having. There's a freaking camera on the desk in the firehouse. Why?
No. Uh-oh. No, I don't have more birthdays. Oh, I would. But our first.
I saw some of her art creations and I wrote, they look so weird, sad. I think she's from the, you know, the island. That were like when he was a kid, I know there's been painting statues now.
Oh, geez, yeah.
I know she's never been there, and I said, no, I told you, I could show it to you guys if I needed to work in the garage. I like her drawings. It was raining and you guys were doing stuff with this, so I said, well, I can pull Rescue 2 out and pull Rescue 1 in and let them look. I know someone shut that garage door and John came down. And I said, oh, what are you doing? He said, I gotta fix the screws on this one. I said, somebody's got Rescue 2. And his display wasn't working, so he was having to tell what I was doing.
Surveying, yeah. Well, I've heard
Errol, yeah. What's he gonna do now, Fred?
putting a septic system in.
No,
He's got some thoughts as to what he might want to do.
nice. Beautiful spot, location.
That's running?
It is.
I'd like to know for the record that no action was taken in a non-public session. Could I get a motion to seal the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Citizens' comments. Right to the microphone if you would, please.
Suzanne Steele, 8 Harvey Road. I would just like some clarification on the comments regarding Stephen Whitley and Sanssouci. And I've been kind of coordinating a lot of things in regards to funds and just providing support for the effort. So I just, the funds are there, so I just want to know how to proceed with getting funds so that you can continue to have Attorney Whitley available for Deerfield's interests.
We put out the call about 2 weeks ago. We have a $53,000 legal budget, of which $5,000 is left.
43. 43,000.
That was
the
43, okay, I'm sorry. So we had 23, we added 5, at the deliberative session, 15,000 was added for the purpose. We've gone through everything but $5,000 right now. So the Board of Selectmen decided at its last meeting that if we didn't receive funding by the end of the month, we were going to terminate the contracts. We haven't received anything. Now, our understanding of Attorney Whitley has said that there are people who are setting up a trust fund with his firm to pay him. The board here has decided that we can't continue in that vein. It has to come into the town and go and be paid by the town. Correct, Andy?
Yeah, I think my thought, and I'm sure that the town administrator's thought and the rest of the board too, my understanding from Steve Whitley is that there's a blind trust in place that could pay legal bills, and that the money would not flow through the town would not actually pay the legal bills, but we would receive a receipt for the legal bills that were paid. And there's no way that we can municipally legally account for that sort of operation. Essentially, when we accepted money and donations the first time to be spent on legal fees, that went in, I don't know whether it was a trust fund.
Went into an escrow account.
It went into a public escrow account that the town held, and I think what we're saying is that we can't allow our bills to be paid from a private, anonymous, blind trust. We have to do everything in the public vein, and we need some sort of public fund, like we had in 2016, for that money to go into that we can expend. But it
Okay.
causes both a public access problem and an accounting problem.
So if funds go back into that public account, that's what you need.
Right. it would
I
have
think
to.
that would be the simplest way. If we receive funds for the purpose of paying Attorney Whitley, we can do so.
Okay.
Right, it has to.
So today is May 1st. If funds get to this public account tomorrow, is that okay? Or get presented to upstairs tomorrow?
We haven't
that-
sent a letter. So if we were to receive funds tomorrow, we have already agreed to accept funds for the purpose of paying Attorney Whitley. Is the board okay if we receive, all right,
Yeah, as
I'm
long
gonna,
as-
I think we should put a caveat on this. His bills have been close to $3,000 or $4,000 a month. So if we received 5,000 tomorrow, we'd pretty much be in the same place we are right now at the
Extend
end.
for a month.
We continue for a month.
Right.
So excuse me, I was just gonna say, so what the administrator just read was a $10,000 amount that was going to be placed into this other account. So if the same amount of money was placed into the public account, then in most cases, you'd be free for 2 months.
3 months.
Or 3 months, depending on
Um,
the needs with
With
the
Attorney
hearing.
Whitley and Sansucci, $10,000 would probably last a month and a half.
We've already advised Mr. Sansucci, though, have we not?
We've advised him that at
We
the
may.
decision of this board, I may be sending a follow-up letter to terminate the contract. Neither Attorney Whitley or Sansucci has gotten a termination
Yet.
letter.
I think I would be perhaps more interested in keeping the contract with Mr. Whitley,
Mhm.
on a month-by-month or an estimated monthly basis than I would be necessarily Mr. Sansucci.
Me too.
And the rest of the board
Would the
feels
board,
it.
would the board agree to absolutely terminate Mr. Sansucci's contract effective when John can send out the letter?
We did, right?
We already did.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did.
And Suzanne,
Yeah,
to be fair, I think the board would be willing to work with whoever wanted to donate money.
okay.
But the problem being that we're continually going through this. I would say that we need to see a minimum of $10,000 arrive.
Okay.
It wouldn't have to necessarily be in 24 hours, I don't
Right,
think. as I
right.
said initially, but
You need
I'm
some
going by the
funds.
idea that you know that, how this is going to work. I think the board can agree for a week. Is a week enough time?
Yes.
Yeah,
That'd be fine.
I'd be in agreement with that.
That we'll hold off terminating Mr. Whitley's agreement until a week from today, and if we should receive enough funds, say $10,000, we'll continue
Right.
With the mechanism that we
with the
used in
mechanism that
2016.
that we've used in 2016.
Okay,
Fair enough?
yes,
Thank you.
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. Any other further comments? Citizens' comments?
None? Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all for coming. What is called? Nothing better to do.